When you think of Ozzy Osbourne's wife, you probably think of Sharon Osbourne, but you may be surprised to learn that she wasn't the only woman he ever married. Ozzy Osbourne got pretty candid about his first marriage in his 2010 book I Am Ozzy, recalling that he first met Thelma Riley at a nightclub in Birmingham, England, back in 1971. It didn't take long for Ozzy to put a ring on it either, as the two married that summer just a few months after they first met. The whirlwind only continued as the couple welcomed their first child, Jessica Osbourne, the following year, and later welcomed son Louis Osbourne, while Thelma was already a mom to a son, Elliot. But their marriage was hardly a fairy tale. Ozzy wrote in his memoir, "If I loved Thelma, I certainly didn't treat her like I did. If I've got any regrets about my life, that's one of them. I put that woman through hell. I should have never married her. She didn't deserve it. She wasn't a bad person, and she wasn't a bad wife." Jessica and Louis both spoke candidly about what it was like growing up with Ozzy as a dad in the 2012 documentary God Bless Ozzy Osbourne. Louis admitted that Ozzy was a good father when he wasn't drinking or chasing drugs, but that wasn't very often. Jessica then noted,
"I don't remember being put to bed or bathed or that kind of thing by Dad. I wouldn't say it was there for us, no."
Another fly in the ointment when it came to Ozzy Osbourne's marriage to Thelma, he reportedly got romantic with Sharon while he was still married. Though they met when she was just a teenager, the two didn't actually form a romantic relationship until almost a decade later, though he was supposedly still married to Thelma at the time. Ozzy and Sharon started dating in 1979 and married 3 years later, the same year his divorce from Thelma was finalized. Ironically, Sharon later claimed in 2017 that Ozzy had cheated on her with 6 different women during their marriage, though she decided to stay by his side. But while Ozzy and Sharon have very much enjoyed a life in the spotlight, it seems Thelma has very much moved on from her doomed marriage to the rocker and prefers to live a much quieter life than the Osbourne clan. She reportedly still resides in England and is a teacher who now goes by the name Thelma Mayfair, suggesting she may potentially have married again. Meanwhile, Sharon Osbourne became one of television's unlikeliest stars. Think you know all there is to know about Sharon? There's plenty to discover about the TV host, music manager, and all-around force of nature. Back in 1992, Queen Elizabeth famously declared that year to be her annus horribilis, a Latin term that translates to horrible year. For Sharon Osbourne, her annus horribilis turned out to be 2003, which she candidly revealed in an interview with Barbara Walters for ABC News' 2020. The year's lowlights included son Jack Osbourne's rehab for opioid addiction, a brief separation from Ozzy over his own escalating addiction issues, and her ongoing battle with colon cancer. However, she made a point to note that her struggles weren't unique, saying, "Things just don't happen to us. They happen to other people too. Other people have cancer, other people have husbands who are addicts, children that are addicts. And we never said we were perfect. I am far from perfect. I'm like the biggest mess up I know." Sharon also admitted she regretted her earlier decision to let all 3 of her children drop out of school, a decision she was initially proud of during another 2020 interview the year prior.
They can all read and write perfectly, and they're in the school of life.
She'd come to realize that she gave them more freedom than teenagers should have. If she were able to do it all over, she would have given them reasonable boundaries and the usual restrictions that a majority of parents apply to their kids at that age. Sharon proved herself to be adept as a television host after a decade on the CBS daytime series The Talk. However, her first attempt at daytime television was not nearly so successful. The Sharon Osbourne Show was canceled after just one catastrophic season on American television. Reviews for the show, which debuted in fall 2003, were brutal. After just 2 episodes aired, USA Today described it as a soon-to-be-discarded cultural oddity.
What an eclectic show we've had today.
Me and a bunch of people that suck.
A few years later, UK network ITV debuted another version of the show on British television. While The Guardian reported this version of the show made a promising debut with initial viewership of 1.9 million, those viewers didn't stick around. Ratings for the show's second episode shrank to 1.5 million, a loss of 1/5 of her audience. Before long, that number plummeted to 1 million, and then less than 950,000 soon after. It too was eventually cancelled. Sharon Osbourne has been characteristically candid about her lifelong battle with her weight. In 1999, she underwent gastric band surgery in which a silicone band is placed around a portion of the stomach to shrink its size. While Sharon lost a ton of weight, the after effects of the surgery were not pleasant. As she explained to Entertainment Tonight, "People are saying, 'You look wonderful.' I'd go, 'Thank you, I just have to leave and vomit.'" Beyond nausea, Sharon admitted to guilt about resorting to surgery in order to lose weight, saying it made her feel like a cheat. That led her to have the band removed, which resulted in a weight gain of about 45 pounds. This motivated her to take a new tactic in her war on weight by embracing the low-carb Atkins diet, a lifestyle change that led to her losing nearly 30 pounds in 3 months.
It's just been the best thing ever.
Prior to TV stardom, Sharon Osbourne's focus was managing the career of husband Ozzy Osbourne. As a manager in the rock milieu, Sharon carved out a hard-earned reputation as one of the toughest. That toughness was something she inherited from her father, talent manager Don Arden, who died in 2007. According to his obituary in The Guardian, Arden, nicknamed the Al Capone of pop, managed such bands as The Animals, The Small Faces, and of course, Black Sabbath. When Black Sabbath broke up, Arden managed the group's singer Ozzy Osbourne, who split from his then-wife and married Sharon. According to The Telegraph, Arden gave Sharon Ozzy's management contract as a wedding present, which ultimately led to a years-long rift between Sharon and her father when she signed him to another label. As she told Metal Hammer, "It was a very bad time for me because I kind of lost my whole family. I realized then that my father's whole thing was money. It's not family, it's money. If you're with him, you're great. If you want to go out on your own, you're dead, and that's what I was. I was dead to them." Arden took Sharon to court and they settled when she paid him $1 million. They ultimately reconciled in 2001, with Arden even making a brief appearance on The Osbournes. They remained on good terms until his death in 2007. She told Celebrity Access, "I was with my dad a good 3 years before he died, and I was heartbroken.
Who's that?
Ozzy coming in.
It would be easy for viewers of The Osbournes to assume that Sharon and Ozzy are the parents of 2 children, Jack and Kelly. However, they have another daughter, Aimee, who didn't appear on the show because she refused to take part in it. In a 2020 episode of The Talk, Sharon said that she was sorry that Aimee wasn't a part of the show, but insisted that she supported her decision.
I mean, I understand how she felt. It was chaos. You know, we had about 30 crew, 24 hours a day. Wow.
She added that their home basically turned into a full-time television studio, and as a mother, she found it easy enough to respect Aimee's desire to stay out of the whole thing. In the years since, she said that her only regret about the show was that the shooting schedule required her to spend so much time away from Aimee.
We were traveling all over the world, we were doing a million things, and Aimee wasn't a part of it.
Sharon and Ozzy's relationship has played out in the public eye, and it hasn't always been smooth sailing. Much of that has been the result of Ozzy's excessive intake of drugs and booze over the years, resulting in some pretty extreme behavior. In the 2020 documentary, The 9 Lives of Ozzy Osbourne, Ozzy recalled waking up after a particularly fuzzy night to discover he was in jail, charged with the attempted murder of Sharon.
Well, I'm like, is this a joke? He says, no, I'm not joking. He says, you're going to court in a minute.
As Sharon explained it, she wasn't sure what substances he'd been using that night, but as they sat on the couch together, he suddenly changed.
And he just said, "We've come to a decision that you've got to die." And then just suddenly he lunged across at me.
Sharon later gave him an ultimatum, telling him that if he ever did that again, either she was going down or he was, permanently. In addition to his rampant substance abuse, Sharon also had to contend with Ozzy's cheating. This came to a head in 2016 when she discovered he was having an affair with hairdresser Michelle Pugh. Ozzy told GQ of his infidelity. "I'm not proud of that. I'm lucky Sharon didn't leave me." She nearly did, though. He actually confirmed that the couple split up for a while. Sharon shared that she'd moved out of their home, telling viewers of The Talk,
I honestly, at this point today, have no idea what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my life.
Ozzy responded by posting an apology on Facebook, admitting he'd relapsed and had been drinking and taking drugs for the previous 18 months. After a few months, the couple reconciled. On an August 2016 episode of The Talk, Sharon revealed Ozzy was being treated for sex addiction. She admitted it was embarrassing to talk about.
He's working at it. It's hard because it affects the whole family.
Over the course of their 43 years of marriage, Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne created a whole lot of drama. The couple's long and winding love story has all the elements for a great movie, and that wasn't lost on their son, Jack Osbourne. All the way back in August 2020, Rolling Stone reported that a movie about Ozzy and Sharon was in the works, with Jack set to produce. Admitting the film was still in the very, very early stages, Jack confirmed the project to be in active development. Sharon added at the time that she hoped people could relate to her and Ozzy's story, along along with the promise that the tone wouldn't be as sanitized as other rock biopics, such as Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man. She said, "Our film will be a lot more real. We don't want it to be squeaky, shiny, clean, and all of that. We're not making it for kids. It's an adult movie for adults." It's unclear if the film is still in production. As of the making of this video, it isn't listed on Jack's IMDb page as an upcoming project. If it's still in the pipeline, the biopic's shape will almost definitely change following Ozzy's death.